Man, that is tough. Hey guys, I'm Mark McKillier with Live Anabolic, and today I want to show you some ab exercises that you probably have never tried before. All right, so if you're like me, you typically find 2, maybe 3 ab exercises. I started to say that you like to do the most. Well, none of us like doing ab exercises. So you find 2 to 3 that you hate the least, right? If you're like me. And so I typically only do 2, maybe 3 different type of exercises, but that gets kind of old and boring. So like a lot of my videos, I like to try to give you some variety to make things more interesting, which makes you more likely to do them and to stick with them. All right, so 4 completely different ab exercises. You might have done one of them, but I bet you at least 3 of the 4 you've never seen before. Now, before I get to it, real quick, we have a fantastic Facebook group. It's totally free. I'm the moderator. I'm in there every day answering questions. 18,000 men, same age as you and me, okay, same problems. And it's not just a workout group, okay? There's lots of stuff about nutrition and injury prevention and rehab and just kind of motivation stuff. And it's very helpful for guys, especially for beginners who want to see other people just like you who have seen great success turning their life around. It's amazing how many men in this group in their 50s, 60s, and 70s have lost 20, 30, 40 pounds. Some guys have lost 70 pounds. It's amazing. Some of them post pictures. A lot of them don't. You don't have to create a fake account. You don't have to use your own name if that's not your deal. Just join the group by clicking the link below this video. I promise you will love the group. Even if we never see you, just join and absorb all the information. And at the same time, please help us spread the good word right here on this YouTube channel, okay? It's also a free resource we give you. Gary and I really put in a lot of time and effort to create these videos for you every week. And by the way, we just got notified by YouTube that this channel has received over 50 million views. Over 50 million times people have viewed one of the videos on this channel, which is kind of cool, all right? And thank you to all you guys. I mean, it's y'all that are doing it, all right? But while you're viewing, do us a favor, hit that little like button below the video. Share this with your buddies that you know need help and motivation getting back in shape. And then don't forget, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of the new videos that Gary and I create every week. All right, so the first exercise, well, heck, all of these exercises today, we're gonna be down on the ground, okay? First one is a great name. I've just shot another video where I had some really fun, interesting names for some of the exercise. So this first ab exercise is called a dead bug. All right, a dead bug. So what does a dead bug look like? A dead bug looks like this. Ah, I'm dead. All right, but don't just hold it. All right, this is not a static exercise. I want you to go up and down. So when you go down, don't rest your heels on the ground. Don't do this. I want you to keep them slightly off the ground and then just come up and then back down, but keep your feet slightly elevated above the ground. And this is the movement, guys. The first 2 or 3 reps, you might feel a little weird, a little awkward, but after just a few reps, guys, you'll get that mind-muscle connection going and it'll feel perfectly normal. But I promise you do 10, 12, 15 of those, it's gonna start getting pretty tough. Okay, so the second exercise is called a bent knee wiper. It's really short for windshield wiper. So bent knee windshield wiper, okay? So you're gonna have to stick your arms out, okay? And I'm gonna show you why. It's gonna stabilize you. Keep your knees kind of bent here, about a 90-degree angle, and you're just gonna rotate your knees or your hips from side to side. Just slowly rotate. One thing, guys, just kind of notice the tempo here. You don't have to go super slow, but you definitely don't want to rock back and forth real fast, because then you'll be using momentum and you won't feel your core engaging. This is a great exercise, not just for the muscles along the front of your stomach, but also your obliques on the side. It really engages all the muscles around your spine. All right, so the third exercise is called a crucifix crunch. And it's almost depressing if you think about it, but it basically, the name describes the starting position. So you start basically in a crucifix position like this. And all you do is bring your knees up and your hands right here. You won't be able to touch probably, but you can just kind of try to touch your hands or clap. And then you go back down and up. And just like some of the previous exercises, don't rest your feet on the ground. Keep your feet elevated at the bottom of the movement so that they're just a couple inches off the ground. Man, that is tough. And if you try to touch at the top, the only way to touch your hands would be to raise your shoulders off the ground and really crunch hard. And if you do that, that's great. That actually engages your abs even more. And if you bring your shoulders up off the ground at the top, you can barely touch your fingers. But if you keep your shoulders on the ground, you won't be able to touch. Crunch up high, you'll be able to touch. Down, crunch, bring your shoulders off the ground. Whew, that makes it way, way harder. But if you can't do that, that's okay. Keep your shoulders on the ground. Bring your knees up and your hands relatively close together at the top of the movement, and that will still hit your core fantastic. Okay, so our fourth and final ab exercise today is called a banded crunch. This is very similar, almost identical to what I do when I'm working at the gym with the cable machines. So I'll put one of the rope handles on the cable machine with the pulley way up high, and I just do the exact same movement, at the gym with that equipment. And the neat thing is these bands are super inexpensive. You can do them at home, and they almost exactly replicate what I do at the gym with, I don't know, a $3,000 piece of equipment, okay? So you got to put the anchor up real high, all right? The higher the better, all right? You guys are going to have to experiment with how much band resistance, okay? But this is one of those exercises where after you do it for a week or two, you'll be able to get a lot stronger and add resistance, all right? So make sure it's heavy enough to make it difficult to do, kind of in the 10 to 15 rep range. If you only put one band on there, you'll be able to do, 100 reps, and that's just not enough intensity, okay? So here we go. I'm gonna get down on my knees and kind of move away from the anchor a little bit because I want there to be some tension up here. This is the top of the movement. I don't want the bands to be completely loose and flimsy. So at the very top, I already feel some resistance, all right? I hold it like this with an overhand grip, and then I put my knuckles basically up against my forehead. And I use my forehead to assist with my crunching movement as I bring my elbows down to my knees and then back up. So try to crunch as deep as, don't just stop here. Try to crunch deep, deep, deep. You can actually bring your elbows past your knees slightly to get more range of motion. And then exhale and hold it for a 1 count. And so guys, slow and steady, and force yourself to feel those abs crunch and contract as tight as you can and go as deep as you can, which means you want to shorten your ab muscles as much as possible. That'll give you more range of motion. And then of course, going up at the top, you'll stretch out, okay? And that's easy. That just kind of happens naturally. All right, so 4 great ab exercises. These will help, gosh, so many other things. All right, so it helps with your back strength. which means you're far less likely to be injured. But it also helps with your overall body strength. So when you're doing big compound movements, say you're doing lunges or squats with dumbbells or something like that, it will make you able to use more weight, all right, because your core is so much stronger. And you won't have to use as much energy stabilizing your core. You'll be able to put more of that energy into your lower body, all right, when you're hitting your legs. So you'll actually get more out of your leg workouts if you build really strong core and really good abs. But guys, remember, abs are made in the kitchen. I don't care how many of these exercises you do and how diligent you are, you're never gonna have a ripped six-pack if it's covered in 20 pounds of fat. So nutrition is key, but even if you eat great and you have weak abs, you're still likely to get hurt. And you screw up your lower back, then you can't exercise, then you start putting on weight, and then you lose your abs, all right? It's a vicious circle. So 4 really cool lab exercises that I bet most of you guys haven't seen before. And then please, guys, stick with it and never give up on yourself.